First implemented in 2008, it will be expanded.
But there are certain positions that have
Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition on News 2 of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman Singh. Topping our newscast, schools on St. Thomas were dismissed early and traffic downtown was somewhat displaced by what could be the largest protest in recent history. Hundreds of teachers who were recently told they'd be getting raises took to the streets decrying what they called a chronic disrespect and unjust treatment from the government. News 2's April Knight has the story.
These teachers are fed up and they're not afraid to show it. More than 200 strong marched downtown on Tuesday. They say they've been putting up with the government reneging on union contracts for a long time.
We are still on the 2009 salary. The 2010 salary was owed to us in the last negotiated contract, not given to us. We withstood a 2-year 8% decrease. That was reinstated, but we never replaced on our 2010 salary.
The teachers blocked traffic at the Senate, marched down Main Street, and took their cries to Government House and the Education Department. Recently, the administration announced that teachers would be getting raises for the first time in 7 years. But the teachers are asking, what about their year's worth of retro?
No retro! No retro!
Chief Negotiator Natalie Tang Ho said the government cannot give out both retro and raises at the same time.
Now, according to the Chief Negotiator, the step increases and the retro wages are not linked together, that they're not asking the teachers to give one up for the other. But according to some AFT members, during a meeting that they had on Sunday, they saw a document that proved otherwise.
We saw it in black and white. The president did share with the members the document that the chief negotiator sent out asking us to forego our raises because administration said that it was not tied, but there is a document that stated.
The bill for the teachers' increase is still pending at the Senate, but if the teachers' demands are to show up anywhere on that document, a different deal needs to happen between the administration and the unions. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The protest dispersed around noontime. We'll hear more on the teachers' demands as well as reactions from government leaders in a later newscast. Meanwhile, as we just mentioned, the St. Thomas St. John District Public Schools were dismissed on Tuesday due to the unscheduled job action that occurred at the district schools. Students received lunch before dismissals and school buses arrived at some schools to take students to their regular drop-off locations. What's the status of schools for Wednesday, April 20th? Well, here's a message from Education Commissioner Sharon McCollum.
I would like to thank our parents and all members of the community for their support and for the proactive stance that you have taken in helping us keep our schools operational today. Schools will be open tomorrow as usual.
The Carnival Hotel in downtown Christiansted is set to run a slot machine casino after the Casino Control Commission approved a temporary license for VIGL Operations LLC. The approval was unanimous. According to CCC, it was satisfied after examining the company's management controls, security systems, and plans in place for the operation of the requested casino. The operations certificate is good for 1 year and requires that VIGL pay for its license, some $80,000 for the first year, on top of other mandates. The St. Thomas St. John Board of Elections meeting that was scheduled for Tuesday went on late into the afternoon. The board members discussed the inspections of polling places and selected polling places for the primary elections. Those sites include the Turnbull Library, Charlotte Amalie High School, Gladys Abraham Elementary School, Adelita Cancrine Junior High, Joseph Sibley School, and on St. John, it's going to be at the Julius Sprouse School. The board is also looking for potential sites for the early voting. Demonstrations are being held for the new Express Vote machine and the DS200. Call the election system for dates and venues. Residents of Red Hook came together to meet with police to discuss some area concerns, including noise, drug use, and traffic. About 30 people turned out for the public meeting of the Red Hook Alliance Monday night at Paradise Cove. The complaints were heard by VI Police Lieutenant Sandra Colburn. Officer Colburn has addressed the residents and gave some suggestions about what they can do as a community to get their ideas and concerns heard by officials, as well as plans that are currently underway. We are in the midst of Carnival, and the Virgin Islands Police Department is urging all residents to be safe during a time when some of us can become a little less cautious. Here are some Carnival safety tips from the police department.
Carnival in St. Thomas is a time filled with excitement and festivity where family and friends come out to celebrate our culture.
Very soon, you will be viewing a PSA shared by the VIPD. The Virgin Islands Police Chief Darren Foy and Deputy Chief Eugene Alcindor says the presence of the VIPD will support the general public during the Carnival festive time.
Sadly, not everyone has the intention of having a safe and violence-free Carnival. There are people who use this time of the year to target and retaliate against others, and when that happens, innocent bystanders get hurt.
The Virgin Islands Police Department would like you to keep the following safety tips in mind during this Carnival celebration.
If you see trouble brewing, tell one of us immediately. If you see any kind of weapon of any kind, anywhere, we need to know. Travel in groups in well-lit areas. Don't trust people you don't know. Put valuables in the trunk of your car. Secure your purses, wallets, and remember at any time, especially Carnival, drinking and driving is unacceptable behavior. Your Virgin Islands Police Department is here to work with you to make this the best Carnival ever.
And most importantly, reduce your own vulnerability and do what you can to minimize the possibility that you could be a victim of a crime or accidental loss.
Let's work together to make sure violence won't stop the Carnival.
Again, police say if you see someone with a weapon, such as a gun, knife, stick, bottle, or any item that can be used as a weapon, notify a law enforcement officer immediately. While the VIPD is also advising the motoring public of the following parking restrictions and road closure scheduled for a special event that will be held on Queen Cross Street in the town of Christiansted from April 21st to the 23rd, effective Thursday, April 21st from 4 p.m. until the completion of the event. No parking on Queen Cross Street from the intersection of Strand Street, effective Friday and Saturday, April 23rd to the 22nd to the 23rd, rather, from 1 p.m. until the completion of the event. The following parking restrictions will be in effect. No parking on Queen Cross Street from the intersection of Strand Street. Now, any vehicle found parked in the restricted areas, they say, will be ticketed and or towed. Turn our attention overseas. Time is running out for rescuers to find more survivors from Ecuador's devastating earthquake. Over 400 people have died after Saturday's 7.8 magnitude quake. One survivor was pulled out from the rubble of a destroyed hotel building on Monday. Authorities deployed thousands of soldiers and police officers to affected areas. Rescue crews say getting supplies in those areas is a huge challenge because of communication problems. Rainy weather from El Nino is also slowing down rescue efforts. This was the deadliest earthquake to hit Ecuador in almost 30 years. Voters in the Empire State head to the polls today. For the first time in decades, New York's presidential primary matter, and frontrunners Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, both New York residents, are expected to win their respective Republican and Democratic contests. Diane Gallagher breaks down what's at stake in New York's primary.
New York is on the clock. After 2 weeks of campaigning, complete with a debate, town halls, plenty of controversy, and, of course, food.
Fabulous cheesecake.
It's now in the hands of the Empire State voters, two of whom lead the race for their party's nominations.
Who you voting for?
Easy decision.
Donald Trump, dominating in the polls of New York's likely Republicans, cast his vote in Manhattan Tuesday morning. The real estate mogul reflecting on how it feels to check Trump in a presidential primary.
It was a great honor, really. Who would have thought? This was just a great honor, and I think it's a great honor for New York. New York is a special place.
New York's adopted daughter, Hillary Clinton, and her husband, the former president, completed their civic duty in Chappaqua.
It feels great, and I am so excited about both campaigning here in New York, voting here in New York, and I love New York.
And Democratic polls show the state seems to love its former senator back. Clinton is up by double digits in recent polls on the Brooklyn-born Bernie Sanders, who took to the streets Tuesday.
Morning, sir.
Mingling in Midtown, trying to sway last-minute voters.
We're feeling very good.
But even with 247 Democratic and 95 GOP delegates at stake today, Republican candidates John Kasich
We'll probably get some delegates.
and Ted Cruz
Maryland is a battleground.
are already looking ahead to the 5 states voting 1 week from today. In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Taking a look at the numbers there, we can see the Dow up 49, NASDAQ down 19, S&P 500 up 6. Coming up on News 2, the remedy for any ailment was a taste of Carnival 2016. Highlights from the hospital Carnival. Now tonight, the junior Calypsonians are taking over the stage, and the mics, the full wrap-up in our Carnival Corner. Time for our Carnival Corner. No one is getting left behind on Carnival festivities, not even those who are hospital bound. On Monday, the St. Thomas Carnival came to Schneider Regional Medical Center in an annual tradition that brings joy and entertainment, not just to their patients, but the entire community. News 2's April Knight brings the sights and sounds from the Schneider Carnival preview.
Carnival parades are 2 weeks out, but the residents of Schneider Regional Medical Center on St. Thomas got a sneak peek of the festivities on Monday.
The 23rd year of Schneider Regional Medical Center hosting this event for our senior citizens. Obviously, it's a prelude to the Carnival. We really take pride and enjoy doing this.
Following years and years of tradition, Carnival performers and royalty came to Schneider to give a preview. According to Schneider CEO Bernard Wheatley, the Carnival Review means a lot for their patients who would not be able to witness the performances otherwise.
Many patients have a little trouble with the ambulatory ability to get around, the mobility. So this is where they come and they have a venue, there's a stage, there's obviously a seating area, it's covered. Hopefully it doesn't rain tonight, and basically they have a chance to see this grand event.
During the show, the newly crowned Carnival Queen and Princess and the Royal Court made their first public appearance. Meanwhile, the young ones showed off their skills with the baton and in more traditional dances. Milo's Kings regaled the audience with their usual flair for upbeat local music. It's not just an affair for the hospital's residents, but also for the community. They also came out Monday night to get a glimpse of the fabulous St. Thomas Carnival 2016. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Great event there. Now tonight, it's the Junior Calypso competition, and that starts at 8 p.m. The young Calypsonians will prove they're not too young to grace the stage with their talent. The First Bank Junior Calypso competition, 16 students in 3 divisions are competing for titles in their respective divisions. The students shared with the community a brief insight into their various backgrounds during the Student Spotlight features on the First Bank VI Facebook page. That's what you're looking at right there. And here are some of the contestants in the primary division. Josiah Narcisse in the Gladys Abraham Elementary School, Shania Freeman, Allah F. Mullah Elementary School, Amari Phillips, Lockhart Elementary School, Caston Italia Roach of Lockhart Elementary School, Kamari Dover of Yvonne Bowski Elementary, Arturo Lamota of Tutu Church of God Academy School. In the intermediate division, we have Nakai Berkeley of Adelita Cancrine, Kanaya Maduro, Allah F. Mullah, and Brianna Gregory, Adelita Cancrine, Ramoy Smith, Sherwood Gittins, the middle school, secondary division, Ajani Phillips, Shalda Mali High School, Monet Green of CAHS, Janelle Hodge of CAHS, Tejani Jackson of Ivana Udorakan, Mary Alice Prosper of Shalda Mali, Maurice Hansby of CHS. Good luck to all the contestants. Now on Wednesday, it's Cultural Night returns, and that begins at 8 p.m. Then Friday, April 22nd, it's the opening of Carnival Village. This year, the village is named Showtime HQ to honor Jam Band. And then the village opens at 6 p.m. at the Fort Christian parking lot. Saturday night, the Calypso competition at 8 p.m. at Lionel Roberts Stadium. That will take place when 7 Calypsonians will try to dethrone the reigning Calypso monarch, King Yellowman. And they are Super T, The Incredible Shark, Caribbean Queen, X-Men, Solemnity, Nikki Smith, and Broccoli. There will be 2 rounds of Kaiso to see whose lyrics, music, and style will take them to the top and make them the 2016 Calypso monarch. For the international explosion, guest artists are Baker Jr. from St. Martin, Dice from Dominica, Ajamu from Grenada, and Crazy from Trinidad. Now Sunday, it's the boat races. Many will line the waterfront from 10 a.m. in Charlotte, Mali. Then they will head over to the Lionel Roberts Stadium at 5 p.m. for the Steel Band Jamboree. If you love pan music, you definitely don't want to miss it. Well, to see all the troops in action, be sure to tune in to CBS TV2's live carnival coverage of the adults and children's parades. We will set up shop at the usual spot in Grand Hotel Square. We will also be live streaming the parade and details of that to come. And if you're in the parade, we need your help to make this coverage the best ever. Please remember to send us your entry information. You can send it to, email it to newsdirector@tv2.vi. That's newsdirector@tv2.vi. Whether you're in a troop, on a float, or participating in any other way, be sure to get us that information. Now, you can also drop it off as early as possible, parade day at the Grand Hotel Square. In other news, students in the St. Thomas St. John District, listen up. You are encouraged to apply for the Jason Carroll Memorial Scholarship, which covers a full year of tuition at the University of the Virgin Islands for the 2016-17 academic year. Seniors, you will need to submit a copy of your UVI acceptance letter, a copy of your transcript, and a 1,000-word essay titled How the Virgin Islands Will Stop the Excessive Violence in Its Community. The deadline is May 11th. Essays should be sent in to the Office of Institutional Advancement, the address right there, number 2 John Brewers Bay, Faculty West, number 7 St. Thomas VI 00802. You must be under the age of 20 and have a GPA of 2.5 at least. It's Literacy Celebration Week. Governor Mapp said he hopes to motivate the entire Virgin Islands community to embrace reading as a fundamental element of education, intellectual stimulation, and enjoyment, and has pledged that the administration will promote every opportunity. April 17th through April 23rd was proclaimed, and the Literary Festival will be held on the UVI St. Croix campus at the Great Hall. This year's featured speaker will be renowned author Sir Salmon, along with featured participant and New York Times best-selling author Virgin Islander Tobias Buckell. Other highlighted guests include authors Jamaica Kincaid, Elizabeth Nunez, Sir Earl Lovelace, Kathleen and Velma Pollard. There will be workshops and panel discussions, as well as book sales and signings. The Virgin Islands Bowling Federation announced that the Federation's national team will be traveling to Puebla, Mexico to compete in the 2016 Champion of Champions Bowling Tournament from April 22nd to the 23rd. This will be the first of 2 chances for the Virgin Islands to qualify for the 2017 World Games. A total of 4 athletes will be traveling to take part, which includes Charles Moorhead, Adansky Henry, Sidney Paul, and Teresa Depka. The coach accompanying the team on this trip will be silver level coach Miguel Marchiel. And all the best to the athletes as they head overseas. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.